possibly anywhere around the world, you could have the TuneIn Radio app downloaded and you're listening to us from somewhere on Shoutcast or YouTube. Hello, YouTube. We're there on YouTube as well. And Facebook. Hello, Facebook. Those that join us on YouTube and Facebook as well. And I am Cindy. I'm Cindy's Choice Show here on Nooga Radio. It's Cindy's choice to be brave and make a difference. And I love having great guests on to help me do that. And I have a great guest joining me today. Gary Highfield is joining me. And Gary is the founder of the Foundation. Hey, Gary, how are you?
I'm great.
Thank you so much for really eager to learn more to Foundation. I want to thank Miss Sue Rice, who's in the studio with us, for your direction so that I could spotlight you on the show today. So before we get started, I've got to spotlight our sponsor. And we have an awesome sponsor in Chicken Salad Chick. And Chicken Salad Chick, Chattanooga.com, Chicken Salad Chick, Chattanooga, 3 great locations, downtown location with the awesome curbside pickup. We've got the Gun Barrel location over by Target. Of course, there's the Erlanger location, very well received over there. They're loving the chick at Erlanger. And you can just check them out for Cindy's Choice selection of awesome catering at Chicken Salad Chick, Chattanooga.com. That's Chicken Salad Chick, Chattanooga. Now, Gary, I'm going to start in and just find out a little bit about you first. Are you from Chattanooga?
I am. Moved around a little bit.
Because that's changing a little. You know, I moved here in 88 and everybody was from here. I felt like, but Chattanooga's growing so I love it because it's a mid-sized small town is what I like to call it. But there's still so many here and love Chattanooga and appreciate it and have got to having, knowing where I didn't get introduced to Chattanooga till 88, but I moved back to Texas because of family reasons twice. But this is my 3rd time back, Chattanooga by choice. I love it here.
More for a while.
Did you really?
Sure did.
That's my old stomping grounds. Awesome. And then before I spent about 7 years in Houston, but I spent more time in Dallas before I spent that time in Houston. And hopefully some of our we usually get some Texas listening in on YouTube when I'm on. So tell me, Gary, tell me about the Want To Foundation.
What we do a couple of years ago, actually years ago now, I walked into a school with a friend of mine. My book, I'd just written a book. It just and a principal shared something with me that I had no idea about. And we were talking about my story, and I was raised in a single parent, no parent home. Never met my father, fatherless and homeless at one time. So as we were having this conversation, the principal said, almost in a casual tone, "Well, Gary, all of these students are in single parent, no parent, incarcerated, one or both homes." And I didn't take that literally. I thought, or I felt like he meant a lot of them, but not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he came back to that and said, "Gary, I hope you understand. I meant all of them."
Mm. That's scary. And of course, I have the same background, the fatherless, homeless situation. And when that is that is the whole world. That's what's scary about that. It's hard to find hope that there is something different from you, and you don't recognize what's missing in your life. It took me a long time. When you don't understand parental love, it takes a long time to be able to receive. And so there's just so much entangled into that. So what did that spur you to do?
What we did from there, the principal felt can relate to these kids. How about coming all the kids? And I wanted to do that, but I asked him to give me a little time to think about it. So I thought about it, and it was one of those things where I knew something was about to change in my life.
Right.
I didn't know what it was, but I knew my life was probably about to change.
Exactly.
So I called that principal back and I said, "I got an idea. I want you to pick 7 girls and 7 boys, and their only quality that they have to have is want to. You pick them." And when you got him, call me. In a couple of days he called. He said, I got him. I got 7 girls. I said, okay, what are we going to do? And he said, come to the kids. And so from those 7, that's the perfect number, right? 7 girls and 7 boys.
Good number.
I started trying to tell my story, and I say trying because I'd written the story, and that was hard enough. But coming out and verbalizing it in front of someone and having them look at me and me share something that I'd never shared with anyone. I'd kept that a secret.
I totally get that, Gary, because that's why I like to have guests like you on. And I'm getting a little emotional right now because I survived a lot as a child, as a little girl on my own. I survived so much. I'm a hang glider pilot. I wasn't just a hang glider pilot. I'm not just a hang glider pilot. I flew cross country, had over 100 mountain flights, and only 5% of hang glider pilots were women, and only 3% at the time were flying cross country. I've started businesses. I've taken on so many things by myself that people told me I would not be able to do. Yet, hardest, bravest thing is telling my story. Being is so difficult, and I get total God chills when I tell you that. And I appreciate you coming on the show because your bravery helps me be brave.
Well, I've noticed, and I don't think I really knew this, how deep this was or how deep it is that someone that is a survivor and that they do have a lot of want to. They have a lot of, and they're so used to so many things in their lives changing daily, hourly, they don't know where they're going to sleep the next day. And so as I started talking with those 14 kids, I realized for the first time in my life that I wasn't the only one.
For real.
And there's a tendency to think this is me, and I keep this to myself. And we all dress up on and try to look like a day.
Exactly.
And I don't know why we do that. Who started that process, and who decided that's what we're going to do. Behind those want to, and our program is showing them how to.
I love that. And you've written a book, and I love reading the book. I just finished Bob LaBelle's book. I'm having him on the show next week. Bob LaBelle is the founder of J103.
One of my best friends.
Started a radio station with nothing, just the same way I'm doing with the Cindy's Choice concept. But this title is just so powerful to me. When want to becomes have to, because I had the want to. I was so such a poly and a positive, and I could just see no limitations. But it really couldn't happen. Well, it got to that have to, the power that comes from just doing stuff because you have to, and the things the gears that change inside of you, and the perspective that changes, and the appreciation that, have gone through the same thing, help others, is just incredible. So now, is this the first book? Is this the book that you said was?
That's the first one's out. We've got another one started.
I love, tell me about this.
About the shoes?
Yes.
One day I took those boots off. I told my wife that I put boots back on. And of course, what a wife said, what are you going to do? And all I knew at that point was I was not going on. I was going to do something else.
Right.
There had to be something else besides what I was doing. And I tell the kids,
you weren't feeling purpose in what you were doing.
I was in a job that just wasn't going anywhere.
It was just a job.
It was a job. I wasn't getting to use my skills and talents. And that's what I tell the kids. Look, you got skills and talents and God-given that are yours, and they're yours alone. And we're gonna help you figure out how to apply.
Exactly.
And that's what we do. And that's what I love doing.
That's awesome. And I just love it. The book is When Want To Becomes Have To. Gary Highfield is the author. And where can people get your book?
Barnes and Noble.
Awesome.
Go to Barnes and Noble. And I say this because, and I use this story. I wrote a lot of the book at Barnes and Noble, and as you look around at all those books, there's about 100 different authors there at Barnes and Noble. Yes. So and that's very intimidating. I'm riding on my little yellow pad, looking around, and I didn't even want to. How would I ever get it to Barnes and Noble? Who do I need to know? Who knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, right?
Exactly.
That's how I did it. And I tell the kids, I'm one of these people that just went around the rock, went straight to the, whatever. So I got my one book I pulled drove over to the parking lot. And as I tell sales reps, asked for the manager. Did I have an appointment? No. Did I know the manager's name? No. They said
you need to call the manager and warn him. Yet.
so crazy. And they said, well, go have a seat and May can see you. I went up and set up in the coffee shop. In a few minutes, they came and got me, took me to the manager, and I said, hello. And I wrote this book. I handed him the book, and that was a great guy. Still the manager. He's the manager there at Barnes and Noble today. And Kelly took a look at the book and literally started to cry.
Oh.
He said, we'll sell this here. And I think because I thought, well, surely there's a bunch of flaming hoops that I need.
Exactly.
I said, well, what do I do now? You need doors.
Awesome. And you're telling me, I can't wait to read your book, by the way. And you're telling the kids can't put it down.
They won't put the book down.
That's awesome.
They will not put it down.
So you're reaching something.
It touches those kids because when they read the book, they know I know.
Yeah. And see, and that's what's key. Because there are a lot of really well-intending people that want to help, but that I'll give you a quick example that's unrelated. I host the Nooga Outdoor Show on Friday evenings, and the outdoor culture is really appreciating that I am a part of that culture, because I really appreciate and understand that it's a whole lot more than just having fun outside. It's a very dynamic culture that does a lot of good for our community, and they appreciate that I get that. I can relate and I celebrate them, instead of just report about them. And it's the same way when you get into these, when you can celebrate it, then, well, yeah, when you can celebrate these challenges and show hope for a future, and they can really identify with it, you really get the pain that they're feeling. And that's what I've learned is you can't walk in anybody else's shoes. I love that, because you got shoes on but you can acknowledge their pain because you've been there, and they get that you really know how bad it hurts and how hopeless that they feel. And they respond to that. And I'm eager to read your book to see how you were able to put that out there in a way that they can respond to that way.
Cindy, I'd be interested to just hear your thoughts on this. When we met with the first 14 kids, I told the principal, he said, well, what's the next thing we need to do? And I said, well, you need to buy 14 books. And he was like, okay, whatever, here he goes. I knew there was a catch. He wants to sell some books. So he got the 14 books, but he gave me some good advice. He said, now look, they're not going to read your book. Okay. In fact, when we go outside today, after we did that
would have been my expectation.
Oh yeah. He said, Gary, they're going to throw your book on top of the schoolhouse, and it's going to be all over the yard. And, they're going to tear your books up. And the reason I'm telling you that, Gary, is that's what they do with all the books.
Exactly.
The school buses were pulling up. We went outside, and the first thing the principal sees is a boy. There wasn't even a girl at this time. It was a girl, or it was a boy, sitting on the school bus with the book open, reading it. And I looked at the principal, and I said, I think you missed it.
They've got the want to.
He picked them. Now, he knew those were some good kids, but he already had decided what they would do with the book. And what they did was the complete opposite of what he thought.
That's awesome.
They didn't read the book. They
like I said,
it.
To me, that's evidence of the want to. The want to is out there. And I think
yes, it is.
That's what a lot of people realize. Like I hear a lot, and I was already helping in I've experienced homelessness on and off throughout my life. But if there's anything I can testify to is when people say people want to be homeless, and people don't want to be homeless. They don't want to be stuck in the patterns that they're stuck in. They don't want to be in the cycles, the endless cycles and circumstances that they're in. It's not a want to thing. So I love that. And when Sue first shared the title of your foundation, I related immediately and was eager and excited to learn more about it. And I'm looking at an 8th grade study guide right now when want to becomes have to. So you've actually got a curriculum
for the book. Yes, we got a study guide. I've met with over 20,000 students in the last 4.5 years. Who would have ever thought that? I've shook a lot. How
many? I'm sorry.
Over 20,000.
I was just making sure I heard that right.
20,000.
That's amazing.
1,000 a day, sometimes 1,000 a day. And these kids are searching. They are looking for something.
And this just dawned on me. Back when I was going through the experience, I wasn't as exposed to as much. Now with social media and the internet and so forth, I bet they are wanting more than ever because they are exposed to more and they're like, well, why does that work for them and it doesn't work for me? Or how do they have that and I can't have that? So I would think that there's a lot of negatives that are tied in that as well. To me, it almost seems like it would be harder for kids, but then it's a more prime helping area because we've got smart kids. And if that want to is in there, we've got something to work with.
That is so true. That is so true. Cindy, we have over, if you Google this question, how many dropouts do we have in America today every 12 months?
I'm bracing myself for the number.
1.2 million. I've been told by somebody that worked for a school system almost 25 years of their life that number is probably double that if they really put the real number out there. That 1.2 million, that's the population of Nashville, Tennessee. Every 12 months dropping out of school. If this person that worked for a school system was telling me the truth.
And that's not a want to thing. No. I wasn't able to complete high school and it wasn't a want to thing. I tried to get back in and I was on my own at 15 and working full time. And I still made it through my junior year. A very difficult challenge. It's not a want to thing. It's not that they don't want to finish school and have a future and have a life. And it's if you can reach them early, like I was so clueless. I didn't have this kind of support. I didn't just really realize how to turn my life around until I was in my 30s. When you can reach them in the 8th grade, that is powerful. When you can redirect their life, give them hope and direction in the 8th grade or whatever level you're reaching them at, that's just incredible and powerful. Now, this is a nonprofit ministry type thing, right? Mm-hmm. Nonprofit. Sure. So how is it supported?
You can support the Want To Foundation. You can go to our website and, contribute. You can do it that way. You could.
Aren't you looking for business relationships?
Yes, that is really where our focus is on the businesses, because these kids have skills and talents, and businesses are looking for people that have resilience. Every company is looking for somebody that will stick with it, good, bad, or ugly, snowflake days or rain days or cold days.
Exactly.
These kids have been through the fire. So a little bit of trouble. They got trouble. They're wearing a hat that says trouble on it. They've lived the trouble.
And I have to say, with my dysfunctional upbringing, being on my own at such an early age, my work ethic has always been off the charts. I've never had a problem getting a job. And that is if there were just other personal issues that were getting in my way. But my work ethic, it was easy for me to be successful professionally. But if you've got deeply rooted personal issues, those are going to interfere with that as well. But you're so right. When you're an overcomer, that's a powerful thing. If you just get some direction with, what was it? I'm a risk taker, but before I didn't know which risk to choose. Now I'm better at choosing what risk to take because I've got that overcomer spirit. So I can forge forward. And that's a key work trait, personality, and that key work ethic. That's a lot to work with. You can train that person.
You just said it. Overcomers are overachievers. They just almost always are. And our goal, what we're trying to do, is show these kids how to go from where they are to where they want to be.
Share your information really quick. We're about out of time.
You can go to the Want To Foundation. You can shoot me an email at wanttobook@gmail.com.
Awesome. And always Cindy at cindyschoice.com. And that's a wrap.